Dumpster rental business insurance, what coverages are needed, what's the anticipated cost, and how can you get a quote? My name is Nate Jones. I'm the owner CEO of Wexford Insurance. We insure over probably 120 dumpster rental companies across the country. I would say by far we're probably the most niche insurance agency in this unique niche. We insure a ton of them across the country in over 48 states, so we know how to insure dumpster rental businesses. We're an independent agent, which basically means that we work with multiple insurance companies to make sure we get you the best possible price for your dumpster rental business. Okay, so let's dive into this. What coverages are needed? The first bare minimum coverage is general liability. Let's say you're just starting off with a truck, roll-off trailer, and 3 or 4 dumpsters. General liability insurance is usually under $1,000 for the year. In almost every state, we can find general liability for under $1,000 for the year. Usually it's around anywhere from $400 to $700. You can pay that monthly, 12 equal payments. Sometimes you have to pay 25% down depending on the state, but this covers if you cause property damage while you're unloading a dumpster, you hit someone's house, somebody gets hurt, bodily injury. So think of while you're interacting with your business, dropping the dumpster, picking it up, somebody gets hurt, that's where that coverage comes into play and to see if there's coverage or not. So someone gets hurt or you cause property damage to someone's property, concrete, house, car, whatever it is, okay? The next coverage you need, so the next coverage you need is commercial auto insurance. What's that? Well, can you use your personal policy? I would advise that you don't. I would advise that you get a separate commercial auto insurance policy because there are unique instances where your personal policy may not cover it. If you're hauling for a business and you're doing business activity, sometimes your personal policy may not cover that, or it will be very limited to the coverage that it provides, and you could be stuck holding the bag if there's a claim. So having a policy in your business name that will cover you if there's trash falling off the dumpsters while you're driving, if you hit somebody with your dumpster, it falls off your trailer for some crazy reason, while you're backing up, if you hit somebody or hit something, that's where that commercial auto coverage comes into play. That's the liability aspect. The physical damage covers your trailer and your truck for if you get into an accident, let's say it's your fault, let's say your car's totaled, it'll pay to replace that car, similar to auto insurance. So very similar to auto insurance. The only difference is it is a full-blown commercial policy. We usually suggest that you get $1 million in limits, and that's anywhere from, in conservative states, anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 for the year, all the way up to sometimes $4,000 or $5,000 in some of the higher risk states like Florida. But again, we have a lot of markets, so usually it's not an issue, but I would suggest commercial auto insurance. The next coverage that is optional, we have some people buy it, some people don't, is equipment coverage. So let's say your dumpsters that you've bought, let's say you bought $4,000 dumpsters, right? And you have $20,000 invested in dumpsters. What if somebody steals one? What if one gets somehow destroyed or something happens to the dumpster, whatever, right? It's kind of hard to destroy them. Really, the major exposure here is theft. So let's say somebody steals that dumpster. Well, if we insure those dumpsters on a inland marine contractor's equipment policy, that would cover that dumpster if it's stolen. Usually that policy is unless you have a ton of dumpsters, it's like $500 for the year. You can pay that monthly, very inexpensive. That's where the premium kind of starts. So that's something you may or may not need. The next coverage is workers' compensation. So let's say you've scaled your dumpster rental company, you've brought on somebody to help you drop off dumpsters and go pick them up, and you're wanting to expand a little bit. You bring on a buddy, even if he's part-time, even if you're paying him cash, 1099, usually by the state guidelines, if you treat somebody like an employee and they get injured on the job, let's say they're getting out of the truck, they fall and they hurt their back. We've had this happen multiple times with our clients. It's important that you have workers' compensation because what happens is they go to the hospital and they say, what were you doing? I was working for Jay's dumpster rental. Well, then they're going to bill you for his damages. And if you're like, well, I'm not responsible, the employee might be like, hey, you're going to pay for this because I don't have health insurance, or I do have health insurance, and the health insurance is going to deny the claim and say it's entitled under work comp. So it's very important that as you scale and bring on people, get a dumpster rental work comp policy. Very inexpensive, I would say, for $30,000 in payroll and under, you're looking under $1,000 for the year, under $2,000 for the year. Very inexpensive. We can do it very quickly, very easily. Okay, you can pay that monthly as well. As you expand your dumpster rental company and you get a lot bigger, we have some clients that get pollution liability. That's just in case they get into a wreck and let's say somebody accidentally put a pollutant in their trailer, even though it's marked in, even though they signed a contract that they should not put pollutants in the trailer, whatever that pollutant is. and let's say they put it in there anyways, and you get into a wreck and the trailer falls and it spills out everywhere. That's still your responsibility, even though the client signed the contract. So you want to make sure you have coverage for that so you can at least defend yourself, and then that insurance company will likely go against the customer who signed the contract. But that's where, as you scale, there's just more potential impact of lawsuits and people trying to sue you, and situations that just randomly happen because you have so many trucks and dumpsters going around. So pollution liability, that's optional. Usually that's a minimum premium of about $1,500 to $2,000. So obviously, as a small company, you would probably just self-insure that and be very careful. But as your company grows and you have that excess cash flow, you want to start protecting the goose that's laying the golden egg, so you would get that coverage. Okay, so how can you get a quote? Well, you can reach out to us, Wexford Insurance. Go to wexfordins.com. Also have a comment below that you can link to get a quote, and you can call us at the 317 number in the comment. It's also in the additional information section, but we'd be happy to give you a quote. We turn quotes around usually within an hour, same day, very quick. We do this all day long. We're very good at it. So if you have any questions, please give us a call. We'd be happy to provide a quote for you. We insure a ton of dumpster rental companies. We'd love to insure you. Thanks.